Still can't believe we have an Alien TV series. I just watched episode 3 and we're going to talk about it. So let's do it. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 breakdown for Alien Earth. Like I said in the intro, I still can't believe we have an Alien TV show that's of this quality. The current age of television, and I know not everything's great out there, but just quality-wise, like freaking, just the look of these television shows, it's pretty much at the level almost of actual movies in the theater. Alien, especially, has a very distinct look to it, and almost like every frame of an Alien movie you could literally use for a desktop wallpaper. It's that striking looking. Oh, and also real quick, my wife's book DELILAH versus the Ghastly Grimm, doing really well. An entire school classroom bought a complete box of books for every child in the classroom, which was really cool. So if you happen to be a teacher and you want to buy an awesome middle school book for your class, get it on Amazon. There will be a link in the info box to get that. This book has a really, really good message, and I think you guys will really dig it. Okay, I've been promoting this book ever since it came out back in May, and you can get it for a great price. It's a nice thick little book. If you like Harry Potter, you like Percy Jackson, stuff like that, then I guarantee you will dig this book. And this episode opens with a bang, because if you remember in the last episode, by the way, spoilers, if you remember in the last episode, Hermit and Wendy were in this section with all these eggs, and Kirsch wanted them to, I guess, retrieve the eggs. So it begins at that scene, and of course Hermit was taken off. And so there's this fight between the Hermit and Wendy and the Xenomorph, or not really a fight, but actually they're running from the thing, as they should. But eventually it ends up into a fight between Wendy, because remember, Wendy's got like superhuman strength. She happens to be a synthetic, so she essentially saves Hermit. But unfortunately, Hermit is impaled by the Xenomorph. He's able to get away. She saves him because his tongue comes out. And then, she ends up lopping off the tongue because they drop the freaking door. This is where it gets interesting, because Kirsch and his team come in to intercept them, and then they take the dead Xenomorph away because, of course, they want to experiment on it. So that's pretty much the opening of the episode. But outside of that, you don't really see any more Xenomorph action, and that's not a con. This is a TV series. This is the third of, I think, eight or 10 episodes, and the rest of this episode is more of a character building episode, and that's not a bad thing at all. I like character building, especially with the Alien franchise. This series focuses heavily on the synthetics, especially the combining of the synthetics with actual children. We learned that in the first episode. But if you want to go back and think about how the Alien franchise started, and Dan O'Bannon writing the Alien franchise, he never wrote anything about, the character Ash and the synthetics. That was all created by David Giler. And Dan O'Bannon definitely had his issues with David Giler, because they were pretty much trying to screw him over. But he has to give them credit where credit's due, creating the character Ash and the synthetics. Who would have known that it would expand into how big it has expanded, because you had Prometheus and you had Covenant, and I think those entries in the franchise explore the synthetics more than ever. And really just the whole alien world, not just the Xenomorphs, but also like the DNA and the creatures. And I've seen the question, like, does this kind of retcon Prometheus and Covenant? Maybe somebody stated that, I don't know, but I don't think it does, because I think this explores a lot more than just actual Xenomorphs. So jumping into that character building, there are these two synthetics. I call them the dude bro kids, because again, they are children in an adult body, so their dialect is going to reflect as such. But dude bro is still dude bro, and it's kind of annoying. And why is that in my Alien TV show? I don't know. I think this was an attempt at humor, but with Alien, I don't think you need any humor whatsoever. Get it out of here, okay? I like my Alien story to be as dark and serious and as heavy as possible. So I think that if I had to pick apart this episode, the dude bro thing got on my nerves. You would think you know, you would pick apart this episode because it was more character building. But no, I actually like this stuff because I think they explored some interesting things. One of the most important things of this episode was the synthetic children coming to terms with their artificial selves. There's this conversation between Boy Cavalier and Curly. I think Curly's an interesting character, and I think we're definitely going to see more of this character, and we're going to see her evolve, because she has this debate with Boy Cavalier from like an intelligence standpoint, you know, talking about, okay, now I am this artificial being, and I don't completely know how I'm made up, you know, how much of me is human and how much of me is pretty much like a computer. But I do understand how intelligent I am, and I think I want to learn what you are learning, and I eventually want to be smarter than you. And so that kind of opened up the door for some interesting ideas, and it really parallels, you know, the struggle with AI that we're having today, and we don't know about this technology and how far it could go. So I think that was interesting how they kind of winked at the current struggle that we have with AI and technology. But the synthetics, yeah, they're definitely having a struggle with, you know, their being and who they are. You know, one of the characters, Nibs, you see her looking in the mirror at the end of the episode, and just kind of struggling with, you know, the hand that she's dealt, I guess. I'm sure some of these children eventually in this series, they're going to question, like, why am I here? And that's a big plot point in Prometheus and Covenant, you know, dealing with the creator and life, and why does the creator create something artificial? You know, creator creates man, and then man creates synthetic life, you know, and so on. Questioning all these moral dilemmas that we have. Then Morrow, my favorite character so far in this whole series. Morrow and Wendy are definitely my favorites. I like how they just continue to peel back the layers in this character, and how he pretty much just has a sole purpose. You know, he is a hunter. He's working for Yutani, and you know, he's trying to intercept the specimens and the xenomorph. This whole thing is a struggle between Prodigy owner Boy Cavalier and Yutani, and several other entities that I'm sure they're going to touch on as the show goes along. But there's this scene between Morrow and one of the synthetics, and you know, he tells him a little bit about his own backstory, how he was a father and he had a daughter, but you don't really know if you should believe him or not, because his whole thing is, you know, he's on a mission. He's like a soldier, really, and he just wants to achieve that mission, and if he has to lie, he will do that. So at this point, I don't know if I really buy that he was a father with a child. Maybe he was, I don't know. But he is that question mark character, right? He's the biggest question mark of this, and I think that's what makes him a really great character. He's unpredictable. And it's also a cool scene when he's like uploading all this information into his freaking brain. But the final part of this episode, I think, ends on a big high note. Not for the characters, but as far as, you know, entertainment value goes. They are operating on Hermit. They remove like his organs, his damaged organs. And simultaneously, you got Kirsch operating on an egg. You know, one of the parasite eggs. But he cuts it from the side and retrieves the face hugger, and then operates on the face hugger, removing the Xeno embryo. And he inserts the Xeno embryo into the organs of Hermit. So this is something new that we've never seen before. Usually we see the face hugger just attack the host and impregnate their face. But no, they're going a different route here. And I think that's just, okay, what else can we do in this lore to kind of expand on it? In a way, doing what Kirsch is actually doing. We are actually experimenting on different ideas and different characters in the franchise, which is fun. Look, I see why this franchise is not for everybody. It gets weird for sure, but man, I have always been just fascinated by the Alien franchise. And I always knew, you know, even seeing like Alien Resurrection in the theater, I knew that wasn't going to be the end of it. I knew they were going to explore this world more, and I'm so glad they did. Okay, so I'm still on board. I still love this series. By the way, the last video, boy, did I get some divisive comments in there. The thing is, guys, if you want to tell me you hate this show's trash, you know, and all that stuff, Tell me why in the comments, because it can't be that you just don't like characters that are under the age of 30. Is that really why you, because they have, I'm sorry, Gen Z characters in the show? You got to give me more than that, okay? I still think some really strong performances in this show. It's never been where we don't like characters of a certain age in a property. It's just weird. This whole current day and age is weird, how we critique things, how we judge things. I don't get it. I'm a story guy, okay? Give me a good story, give me good characters, give me good acting. This show has all that, okay? It's not perfect. It's got some weird shit, for sure, but Alien always has weird shit, so yeah. So, yeah, love the episode. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I will be doing these episode recaps every Tuesday night, God willing. And, yeah. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays. We do a few of our Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Become a channel member. Buy me a coffee. And you guys, thank you so much for watching every day, and Drumdum out.